think, speak, and command. The world decodes your behavior, not your intentions. Where you are, your current life, the respect you get, the opportunities you miss. The conversations you leave feeling hollow is not a result of your intentions. It is a broadcast, a relentless, unedited broadcast of your inner state. The world does not hear your thoughts. It decodes your behavior. And right now, you are transmitting confusion, neediness, and permission-seeking signals without saying a word. This ends today. For the next hour, you will learn the unspoken code, the operating system for commanding respect, influencing outcomes, and building a presence that enters the room before you do. This is not about changing who you are. It is about finally aligning your output with your power. Listen closely. The first lesson starts now. Chapter 1, Your Invisible Broadcast and Why It's Failing You. Let's get one thing straight. Right now, you are always broadcasting. You are not just speaking when you open your mouth. You are not just acting when you move. From the moment you enter a room, from the moment you think about entering a room, you are transmitting a signal, a status signal. It's in the weight of your footsteps. It's in the millisecond of hesitation before you speak. It's in the posture of your body when you listen. It's in the adjectives you choose in an email. You are a walking, talking radio tower, and the frequency you're on determines everything. Who listens, who respects you, who dismisses you, who follows you. You are always broadcasting, and I'll bet anything that right now, your signal is weak. It's full of static. It's failing you. Think about the last meeting you walked into. Did you enter, or did you apologetically infiltrate? There's a difference. One man walks in. His movement is purposeful, direct. He owns the space between the door and his chair. He doesn't scan the room for approval. He just arrives. Another man, and let's be honest, it's you he slinks in. His eyes dart. His shoulders are curled forward slightly, as if saying, "Sorry to interrupt your important lives with my presence." He takes the seat farthest from the center of power. He didn't say a word, but he broadcasted everything. I am low status. I am unsure. My ideas are probably an inconvenience. You are always broadcasting. This creates what I call the perception gap. This is the Grand Canyon-sized chasm between how you see yourself and how the world actually receives you. It's the most dangerous blind spot you have. You think you're being collaborative, asking for everyone's input. The room sees you as indecisive, incapable of a firm opinion. You think you're showing enthusiasm, following up quickly, adding exclamation points. The recipient reads it as neediness, as a desperate plea for validation. You think your self-deprecating joke was charming and humble. They filed it under lack of confidence, and it just cost you the project lead. The perception gap is where your potential goes to die. It's where respect evaporates. It's where opportunities you never even knew existed are silently offered to someone else. To the man whose signal is clear, strong, and intentional. Your job, starting this second, is to close the perception gap. You cannot manage what you do not measure. You cannot fix a signal you are deaf to. Close the perception gap. This starts with the most radical, difficult, and non-negotiable first step: awareness. Brutal, unforgiving, ego-shattering awareness. You cannot upgrade your broadcast if you're still telling yourself the fairy tale that you're already coming through loud and clear. The awakening is painful. It's looking at the reflection in the mirror and not seeing the hero, but seeing the transmission tower and seeing that it's rusty, crooked, and tuned to a frequency no one respects. Awareness is not thinking about it. Awareness is forensic analysis. It is scanning your own broadcast. Scan your own broadcast. I want you to do something today. After your next 3 human interactions: a meeting, a call with your boss, a coffee with a colleague, I want you to stop for 60 seconds, and I want you to conduct a broadcast audit. Ask yourself these 3 questions and answer with raw, unfiltered honesty. 1. What was my primary signal? Was it authority or apology? Was it calm command or frazzled urgency? Name the signal, not your intention. The signal, too. What one micro behavior most powerfully transmitted that signal? Was it the upward inflection at the end of my sentences that made every statement a question? Was it the way I broke eye contact first, every single time? Was it the frantic speed of my speech? Pinpoint the mechanics. 3. What is the gap? How did I want to be perceived in that interaction? Now, based on the evidence of my broadcast, how was I actually perceived? Write down the 2 words: wanted, decisive, actual, hesitant. This is not about self-flagellation. This is reconnaissance. This is gathering intelligence on your greatest enemy in the quest for respect. Your own unconscious behavior. Skin your own broadcast. Do it after every key interaction. You will start to see patterns. You will hear your own vocal fry. You will feel your own slouch. You will notice your own compulsive need to fill silence with nervous chatter. This is the gold. This is the data. The perception gap is not closed by giant, sweeping declarations. It is closed by the ruthless identification and elimination of these micro-failures, one by one. You are always broadcasting. That is not a burden. It is the ultimate leverage. It means you hold the transmitter. Right now, you've handed the controls to your insecurities, your childhood habits, your fear. You're letting a scared kid run the console of a nuclear power plant. It's time to take back the controls, to broadcast with purpose, to send a signal that says value instead of vanilla, power instead of please like me. Close the perception gap. It begins by accepting the terrifying, empowering truth. Every minute of every day, you are transmitting who you are. The world isn't just listening. It's believing you. It's time to give it something worth believing. You've started the scan. You've seen the static in your signal. Now, you need to learn the language that cuts through that noise. A language without words. Chapter 2. Stop apologizing for your presence, listen to me. You are in a negotiation. Right now, every single interaction you have is a negotiation for value, for respect, for authority. And you are losing. Not because you're weak, not because your ideas are bad. You are losing because you walk to the bargaining table and before the other person even says a word, you open with a concession. You start by giving your power away. You offer a discount on your own worth. You are negotiating against yourself. Stop negotiating against yourself. It happens in a whisper, a flinch, a downward glance. You say, "Sorry, can I jump in here?" You've already framed your contribution as an interruption, a bother. You've asked for permission to speak. You've set the price of your idea at an inconvenience. The idea could be genius. It doesn't matter. You've already devalued the currency. You say, "I'm no expert," but you've just voided your own warranty. You say, "This might be a stupid question," and congratulations, you've just guaranteed everyone will think it is. This isn't politeness. This is self-sabotage. It's a verbal and physical flinch. It's the hesitant leaning, the raised hand that's more of a timid wave. It's the posture of someone who is taking up space on loan, who expects to be evicted at any moment. You must internalize a new, non-negotiable truth. You are here by right, not by allowance. You are here by right, not by allowance. You have a right to the chair you sit in. Own it. Sit back. Plant your feet. Don't perch on the edge like a delivery boy waiting for a signature. You have a right to your opinion. State it. Don't coat it in layers of maybe, sort of, I feel like. You have a right to exist in a room, to speak in a meeting, to ask a question. You do not need to preface it with an apology for your own existence. This is the practice of entitlement, not the bratty, narcissistic entitlement of "I deserve your stuff." This is the foundational, steel spine entitlement of "I deserve my own space, my own voice, and my own presence." It is the bedrock. Watch a man who knows this. He enters, he sits, not aggressively, but fully. He doesn't smile nervously to placate the room. He holds eye contact with a calm, steady certainty. He's not waiting for a nod to proceed. He's simply present. He operates from the assumption that he belongs. And because of that assumption, everyone else believes it too. You are here by right, not by allowance. Start acting like it. Now, we kill the language of self-negotiation. We surgically remove it. We replace the vocabulary of weakness with the vocabulary of strength. The rule is simple, brutal, and transformative. Replace sorry with thank you. Replace sorry with thank you. This is not wordplay. This is a psychological and social nuclear weapon. Sorry looks backward. It focuses on a flaw, a failure, your inconvenience. It keeps you small. Thank you looks forward. It focuses on the other person's positive attribute, their grace. It assumes a position of strength. You are late. The old negotiating you scurries in. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was a nightmare. You've started with a deficit. You've made it about your failure. You've given them a reason to be annoyed with you. The new you walks in. You own it. You say, thank you for your patience. You have reframed the entire event. You have acknowledged their good behavior, not your bad one. You have assumed they were patient, that they are reasonable people. You have positioned yourself as someone grateful for their professionalism, not someone groveling for their forgiveness. The power dynamic shifts instantly. Sorry, this report is a mess, becomes thank you for your sharp eyes on this. Draft, sorry to bother you, becomes thank you for your time. Sorry, if this is wrong, becomes thank you for the opportunity to clarify. Do you see the mechanics? Sorry negotiates your value down. Thank you assumes value and appreciates the value in others. It is a language of equals, not subordinates. Stop negotiating against yourself. Every sorry for your presence, your question, your idea is a clause in a contract where you give away your power. Tear up that contract. You are here by right, not by allowance. Your voice, your space, your perspective, they are not favors the world grants you. They are your instruments. Stop apologizing for using them. From this moment forward, your broadcast changes. You are no longer a signal of apology, of permission seeking. You are a signal of quiet, unshakable assumption. You assume you belong. You assume your time has value. You assume your contribution is worth hearing. The world takes its cues from you. If you assume you are an equal, you will be treated as one. Replace sorry with thank you. It is more than a phrase swap. It is a brain rewiring. It is the death of the negotiator who worked against you, and the birth of the man who knows his worth. You've stopped apologizing. You've claimed your space. Now, you must learn to defend it from the most persistent intruder, the desperate need to be liked. Chapter 3, The Anatomy of a Commanding Thought. You think you're thinking. You're not. You're being thought at. Your mind is not a sanctuary. It's a boardroom. A loud, chaotic, poorly run boardroom. And right now, a committee of panicked interns is running the meeting. The voice of doubt has the floor. The voice of fear is seconding every motion. The ghost of past failure is giving a PowerPoint presentation on why you'll fail again. And where are you? You're sitting in the corner, taking notes, believing every word they say. This stops now. Your internal dialogue is a boardroom. Who is speaking? If you don't know, you've already lost. Anxious, scattered, reactive thinking cannot produce calm, focused, commanding results. It's a physical law. Garbage in, garbage out. You cannot broadcast a signal of power if the transmission center of your own mind is a riot of fear and speculation. You are trying to send a clean signal from a room on fire. Your internal dialogue is a boardroom, and it's time for a hostile takeover. You are evicting the committee of doubts. You are firing the intern who asks, do they like me? You are terminating, with extreme prejudice, the consultant who whispers, what if you fail? You are assuming the CEO's chair. The CEO does not hold meetings to discuss feelings. The CEO issues commands. He reviews data. He makes decisions. He directs traffic, which brings us to your first executive action. You are going to install 3 non-negotiable thought protocols. You are going to redirect the mental traffic. Redirect the mental traffic. The traffic in your mind is flowing down neural superhighways of fear, habit, and childhood programming. Your job is to be the traffic controller. You see a thought speeding down the catastrophe lane. You put up a detour sign. You force it onto a new road. Protocol 1. The thought, what if I fail, is banned. It is useless. It is a mental dead end that leads only to paralysis. The detour sign reads, what will I learn? That's the redirect. What if I fail? Looks into a void of fear. What will I learn? Looks into a future of growth. It transforms a threat into a mission. It moves you from a passive victim of circumstance to an active gatherer of intelligence. Failure is not an endpoint. It's a data point. Redirect the traffic. Protocol 2. The thought, do they like me, is a cancer. It's the need for approval in its purest, most pathetic form. It makes you weak, manipulable, and desperate. The detour sign is brutal. Am I being clear? That's the redirect. You shift your focus from their feelings, which you cannot control, to your performance, which you can. Your goal is not to be adored. Your goal is to be understood, to be effective. Clarity is power. Needing to be liked is a prison. Redirect the traffic. Protocol 3. The language of slavery. I have to go to this meeting. I have to finish this report. I have to deal with this client. It frames your life as a series of burdens imposed by a cruel world. The detour sign is the language of agency. I choose to. That's the redirect. I choose to attend this meeting to advance my project. I choose to complete this report to demonstrate my competence. I choose to handle this client to protect my business. Feel the seismic shift. Have to is victimhood. Choose to is ownership. It puts the reins back in your hands. You are not a beast of burden. You are a strategist executing a plan. Redirect the mental traffic. But this isn't just positive thinking. This is neurological warfare. You are physically, chemically rewiring your brain. You are engaging in neurological repatterning every time the old thought fires. The old fear pathway gets stronger. You are carving a gorge of anxiety. Your job is to starve that gorge and blast a new tunnel. You do this with targeted, present tense, undeniable force. You use declarations over doubts. Declarations over doubts. Doubts are questions. Declarations are answers. Doubts are whispers. Declarations are commands. You must speak to your own nervous system with the tone of a general, not the whimper of a subordinate. When you feel the anxiety before speaking, you do not entertain the doubt. You do not reason with it. You drown it out. You plant your feet. You steady your breath. You declare silently with absolute conviction. I speak with clarity. My presence is sufficient. My focus is unbroken. You do not say, I will try to be clear. You declare, I speak with clarity, present tense, factual. You are not hoping. You are stating the reality you are creating. You are not asking your brain to believe something. You are telling it what is true. This is how you repattern. In the moment of weakness, you inject a synthetic strength. You feel the urge to apologize for your idea. The doubt says they'll think it's stupid. You declare, my perspective has value. You feel the need to check your phone for validation. The doubt says, see if anyone needs you. You declare, my attention is here, now. Declarations over doubts. It is a drill. You do it 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. Every declaration is a stroke of the axe, cutting a new path through the jungle of your old mind. It is exhausting, and it is the only way. Your internal dialogue is a boardroom. You are the CEO. The microphone is yours. Redirect the mental traffic from the swamps of fear to the high ground of action and clarity. And when the old committee tries to reconvene, you silence them with declarations over doubts. You have taken command of the inner world. You have stilled the chaos. Now, you must master the outer signal that chaos creates, the frantic, leaking energy of a man who cannot contain his own thoughts. Chapter 4. Silence is your sharpest tool into the room. The loudest man in it is almost never the most powerful. He's filling the air with sound because he's afraid of the silence. He's compensating. He's negotiating, again, against himself, trying to buy attention, validation, or approval with the cheap currency of his own noise. The nervous chatter, the rushed answer, the compulsive explanation. It's the broadcast signal of anxiety. It screams, "I'm not sure of my own value, so I must convince you with volume." This is the habit you must break. High-value people do not fear silence. They wield it. They understand that silence is not empty space. It is a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. In conversation, in negotiation, in confrontation, silence is the vacuum that pulls truth, intention, and weakness toward you. It is your sharpest, most underutilized tool. Let the silence do the work. Let the silence do the work. You do not need to fill every gap. In fact, the gap is where your power is forged. Think of the last time someone asked you a challenging question. The pressure hit. Your brain scrambled. What did you do? You started talking. Immediately, you vomited words, half-formed thoughts, qualifications, just to end the unbearable tension of not speaking. You gave away your leverage in the first second. Now, imagine the alternative. The question hangs in the air. You feel the primitive urge to blurt, and you don't. You take a breath. You settle into your chair. You make calm, deliberate eye contact. You let 2, 3 seconds pass. In that silence, 3 things happen. 1, you demonstrate control. You show you are not reactive. You are not governed by their pressure. 2, you give yourself clarity. Your brain stops panicking and starts accessing your actual intelligence. 3, you transfer discomfort. The other person now sits with their own question. They begin to wonder. The silence becomes their problem to solve. You didn't say a word. At U1. This is the strategic pause. It is not passive. It is an aggressive act of calm. It is you declaring that you set the tempo. Your rule is simple. Own the pause. Own the pause. Before you speak, own it. After you speak, own it. It is the punctuation mark that gives your words weight. Real-world scenario. In a negotiation, they throw out a number. The amateur jumps in. Well, I was thinking more like. He's playing on their field. You own the pause. You lean back. You let the number sit in the silence between you. You nod, slowly, as if considering it deeply. The silence becomes heavy. It presses on them. Often, they will crack first. They will fill their own silence with a concession, a justification, a better offer. You didn't argue. You just applied the pressure of your calm, real-world scenario in a conflict. An accusation is thrown. You drop the ball on this. The reactive man erupts in defense or crumbles in apology. You own the pause. You absorb the emotional charge without flinching. You let their words dissipate in the air. Then, and only then, do you respond with measured clarity. Let's talk about what happened. The pause drained the emotion from the room. It gave you the high ground. But silence isn't just about the pause before you speak. It's about the full stop after. This is the killer move you're missing. The power of the full stop. You make a statement, a clear one. No, I can't commit to that. The budget is fixed. My decision is final. And then, you destroy your own authority. You keep talking. You add, because, things are really crazy right now, and maybe next quarter we can look at it. You append a question mark to a statement. You turn your no into a negotiation by adding a because. You hand them the lever to pry your position open. Stop talking. Your point, then full stop. Your point, then full stop. When you have said what needs to be said, your mouth closes. You do not explain, justify, or clarify unless explicitly asked. Your word is complete. Your position is a castle. You do not build a drawbridge for the enemy out of your own nervous need to be liked or understood. Example, the project timeline is non-negotiable. Less than. Full stop. Not. The project timeline is non-negotiable because the client is really pushing us and I know it's tight. but we all just have to pull together, okay? That is not a statement. That is a plea for agreement. It's weak. It's negotiable. When you state a boundary and then immediately justify it, you are telling the other person your boundary is unreasonable. You are asking for their permission to have it. You are negotiating against yourself. Let the silence do the work. After your full stop, the silence becomes the wall of your castle. Let them press against it. Their discomfort is not your problem to solve. Your clarity is your only responsibility. Owning the pause and mastering the full stop is the discipline of containment. It proves you are not leaking energy, attention, or power through unnecessary sound. It demonstrates that your words are deliberate, valuable, and rare. It transforms your broadcast from a constant, low-value hum into a series of powerful, clear-frequency transmissions. The weak man fears silence because it feels like rejection. The strong man knows silence is the canvas on which his few, powerful words are painted. Own the pause. Make your point. Then full stop. Let the silence do the work. It is working on them. It is proving you are in control. You've learned to master the unsaid word, to wield silence. Now, you must confront the force that makes silence so terrifying, that chatter so tempting, the deep, primal terror of being truly seen for what you are or are not. Chapter 5. Words as Architecture, Building Reality with Speech. You think words describe the world. You're wrong. Words build the world. The world inside your head, and the world that forms between you and everyone else. Most people are reporters. They narrate their circumstances. It's a disaster. He's impossible. This is so stressful. They describe the weather in their life as if they're just standing in it, helpless. They are not. They are, with every sentence, hammering together the very prison they complain about. You will not be a reporter. You will be an architect. From this moment forward, you accept the terrifying and exhilarating responsibility. You are the architect of your reality with your words. You are the architect of your reality with your words. Every sentence is a beam. Every declaration is a foundation. Every question is a blueprint. You are not describing the room you're in. You are building the next room, and everyone is following you into it. Consider the difference. One man faces a setback. He says, "This is a difficult problem." He has built a wall. The word difficult is a barrier. It tells his brain, "Stop. This is hard." Conserve energy. The architect faces the same setback. He says, "This is a clarifying challenge." He has built a lens. The word clarifying focuses energy. It tells his brain, "Look closer. This will reveal what matters." Problem is a dead end. Challenge is an obstacle course, something to be engaged with, conquered. The facts haven't changed. The reality has been completely rebuilt by the choice of words. To be the architect, you must first clear the demolition site. You must purge the language of weakness, of vagueness, of permission-seeking. This isn't style. It's structural integrity. Your new law. Precision creates power. Precision creates power. Weak language is verbal static. It corrodes your signal. It makes your yes sound like a maybe and your no sound like a negotiation. It broadcasts uncertainty. You are hereby banning these words from your professional and personal lexicon. Just maybe, I think, hopefully, and try. I'm just checking in. You've minimized your entire reason for being. Maybe we could consider you built your idea on a foundation of sand. I think we should. You've prefaced your recommendation with a doubt. Well, try to hit that deadline. You've already given yourself an out. Hopefully it works. You've replaced agency with wishful thinking. This is not semantics. This is psychological warfare on your own indecision. When you say "I'll try," you give your brain an escape hatch. When you say "I will," you command your brain to find the way. Here's your drill. It will be uncomfortable. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute. Describe your current project. Pitch an idea to an imaginary client. Just talk, then transcribe it, word for word. Take a red pen and circle every weakening word, every just, every maybe, every I think. You will be horrified. You will see the ghost of the insecure boy chattering in your ear, undermining your own authority. This is the ghost UREXO or CISING. Precision creates power. Replace the weak with the strong. Just checking in becomes. Following up on X, maybe we could becomes I. Propose we. I think we should. Becomes my recommendation is we'll try becomes we. Will, hopefully, is deleted from your vocabulary. You do not hope. You plan. You execute. You adjust. Once your language is structurally sound, you can begin the real architecture, framing. This is the master skill. Frame the game. Frame the game. Before a conversation, a meeting, a negotiation even begins, you must establish the context. You must define what the conversation is about. If you don't, someone else will, and you will be forced to play on their field by their rules. Example, a project kickoff. The weak architect walks in and says, okay, so we have this tight budget and a crazy deadline from the client. What has he done? He has framed the entire endeavor as a struggle against scarcity and pressure. He has built a bunker. You, the architect, walk in. You say, our mission is to build something elegant and effective under a meaningful constraint. This will force our best, most creative work. You have framed the exact same facts as a proving ground for excellence. You have built a workshop. See it. You didn't change the budget. You changed the story. You framed the game. You define the challenge not as a threat, but as a filter for genius. Frame the game in conflict. Instead of we need to talk about why you missed the deadline, you frame, let's figure out the system breakdown so we can guarantee it never happens again. You've moved from blame a dead-end game to problem-solving a productive game. Frame the game for yourself. Facing a daunting task, don't narrate this is going to be a brutal day. Frame it. Today is a focused sprint. You are the architect. You define what the structure is for. You are the architect of your reality with your words. You are no longer at the mercy of the world's narrative. You are the one handing out the scripts. Precision creates power in your materials. Frame the game to design the structure. This means your internal and external dialogue must align. You cannot build a palace externally with words of power if internally you're still muttering about the difficult problem. The architecture must be seamless, from the thought to the word to the result. You have the blueprint. You have banned the weak materials. You have learned to lay the foundation with your frame. Now pick up the hammer. Start building. You've learned to construct reality with language. But a grand structure is useless if built on shifting sand. It's time to pour the most critical foundation of all. An identity that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. Chapter 6. Kill the need to be understood. There is a sickness in you. A deep, aching, childhood-born sickness. Is the desperate, clawing need to be understood. Not respected, not effective, understood, for everyone to get you. To nod along and see the brilliance of your logic, the purity of your intent, the nuance of your position. You believe if you can just make them understand, then you will be safe, accepted, validated. This need is poison. It is the root of every weak, flailing behavior that kills your authority. It is why you over-explain, justifying a simple no with 5 minutes of backstory. It is why you people please, warping your own position to match what you think they want to hear. It is why you seek consensus on every minor decision, terrified that someone, somewhere, might not get it. This need makes you predictable, manipulable, and weak. You must kill it. Your new operating principle is not be understood. It is this: clarity over consensus, clarity over consensus. Consensus is the refuge of the weak, the desperate huddle of people who need everyone to agree, so no one is to blame. Clarity is the weapon of the strong. Your goal is not that everyone agrees with you. Your goal is that everyone hears you in stark, unambiguous terms. You are not a politician running for approval. You are a leader stating a direction. Look at the visionary. He has a complex, multi-layered idea for a new company. The amateur walks into the room and drowns the investors in details, flowcharts, market segmentation, a desperate bid to make them understand every cog in the machine. He is pleading for validation through comprehension. The master walks in. He distills the chaos into a crystal, a single, powerful mantra. We move money at the speed of a text. We put a supercomputer in your pocket. He does not explain the semiconductor design. He declares the new reality. He seeks clarity of vision, not consensus on minutiae. The details come later, for those who have already bought into the clear, powerful frame. Your life is that startup. Stop explaining the organizational chart of your decisions. Start declaring the vision behind them. When you sacrifice clarity on the altar of consensus, you become a blur. When you pursue clarity with ruthless focus, you become a blade. People may not like where you're pointing it, but they will never doubt its edge. This shift does something else, something almost magical. It grants you the magnetism of mystery. When you stop explaining yourself, you become unexplainable, and the human mind is terrified of a vacuum. It rushes to fill it. If you are not neatly categorizable, if you do not hand people a ready-made manual for how to think about you, they are forced to do their own work. And in that work, they assign value, they assign intelligence, they assign depth. A man who constantly explains his motives is transparent. He is a shallow pond. You can see every pebble at the bottom. A man who acts with clear intent, but without self-justification, is an ocean. You see the surface, but the depth is implied, immense, and fascinating. People lean in. They wonder. They project their own ideas of strength onto your silent, steady presence. Your mandate, be a statement, not a plea. Be a statement, not a plea. A plea asks, do you accept me? A statement says, this is what is. This is my position. This is the standard. It does not beg for understanding. It stands, self-contained, self-validated. Your no is a statement, not a negotiation. Your boundary is a statement, not an apology. Your vision is a statement, not a focus group submission. But here is the critical, practical mechanism that makes this possible. You cannot hold yourself responsible for 100% of the communication. That way lies madness and the desperate chase. You are responsible for your part, only your part. This is the 70% rule. You are responsible for communicating with 70% clarity. That's your job, to be concise, direct, and unambiguous, to use the architecture of strong words, to frame the game, to own the pause. The other 30% is the listener's responsibility. It is their job to listen, to think, to ask a clarifying question if they need to meet you in the middle of the bridge you built. Most of your agony comes from trying to drag people across their 30%. You state a clear position. You see confusion or resistance on their face, and you break. You leap across the bridge into their territory. You start over-explaining, backtracking, weakening your original statement to try and pull them over. You abandon your post. No more. Do your 70. Release the 30. Do your 70. Release the 30. You state the deadline. You release their frustration. You state the price. You release their sticker shock. You state the boundary. You release their disappointment. Their emotional or intellectual response is not your 30% to manage. It is theirs. This is not indifference. It is profound respect. It respects them enough to believe they are adults who can handle a clear message. It respects you enough to protect your energy, your focus, and your position. When you stop chasing people into their 30%, you stop the exhausting dance of people-pleasing. You communicate with clean, surgical efficiency. You say what needs to be said, and then you stop. You let the silence do the work. You let them grapple with it. If they have a good faith question, you answer it with precision. If they have an emotional reaction, you let them own it. Clarity over consensus. Be a statement, not a plea. Do your 70. Release the 30. This is how you kill the needy child within. You stop asking the world to understand you. You start requiring yourself to be clear. The first is a plea for love. The second is the posture of command. The energy you waste trying to make everyone get you is the exact energy you need to build something worth getting. Stop spending it on the crowd. Invest it in the work. You've killed the need to be universally understood. Now, you must fortify your position. You must build something that cannot be ignored, that stands regardless of who gets it or not. You must move from communication to creation. Chapter 7. The physiology of certain you're doing it backwards. You wait to feel confident. You wait for the fear to subside, for the doubt to quiet, for the internal committee to finally vote in your favor. Then, you think, then your body will respond. Your posture will straighten. Your voice will steady. You'll walk in like you own the place. It's a lie, and it's keeping you weak. Confidence does not create the physiology. Physiology creates the confidence. You cannot think your way into a state of power, but you can physiologize your way into powerful thinking. Your body is not a puppet to your mind. It's the control panel. The brain is taking constant readings from the body heart rate, breath, muscle tension, posture, and using that data to write the story of what's happening. If your body is broadcasting danger, retreat, your brain obediently writes a script of fear and doubt. No matter how many positive affirmations you chant, your body leads. Your mind follows. This is the core truth. Posture precedes opinion. Posture precedes opinion. Your physical stance doesn't reflect your mental state. It determines it. Let's get scientific for a moment, because you need to know this is not philosophy. It's biology. When you adopt a low-power, contracted posture, shoulders hunched, chest caved, limbs pulled, and you trigger a specific hormonal cascade. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises. Testosterone, the dominance and action hormone, dips. Your body chemically prepares for submission, for defeat. Your brain gets the signal and obediently serves up thoughts of anxiety, scarcity, and weakness. Now, flip it. Adopt a high-power, expansive posture. Feet planted wide, shoulders back, chest open, arms uncrossed. The hormonal cascade reverses. Testosterone increases. Cortisol decreases. Your body chemically prepares for engagement, for command. Your brain gets that signal and begins serving up resources, clarity, assertiveness, calm. You don't feel confident and then stand tall. You stand tall, and the feeling of confidence is the chemical byproduct. Posture precedes opinion. Your body's architecture dictates your mind's atmosphere. Therefore, your discipline is no longer just mental. It is physical. You must install the triad of command. These are 3 non-negotiable physical practices to be performed not when you feel like it, but precisely when you feel you cannot. 1. Breath. This is the master switch for your nervous system. Stress triggers short, shallow chest breaths, the breath of panic. You must seize control with deep, slow, diaphragmatic breathing. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, letting your belly expand. Hold for 4. Exhale through your mouth for a count of 6, emptying completely. This is not relaxation. This is a neurological override. It tells your vagus nerve to shift from fight or flight to rest and digest. It lowers your heart rate. It clears the mental static. 2. Posture. This is the Wonder Woman or Superman stance, but without the costume. It is grounded and open. Feet shoulder width apart, solidly on the floor. Weight evenly distributed. Shoulders rolled back and down. Chest open, spine long. Head level. This is not a military attention. It is a relaxed, unshakable occupancy of space. It is the posture of a man who cannot be knocked over because his foundation is the solid. 3. Movement. This is the speed and intention of your gestures. Low-value, anxious men move in jerks and twitches. They fidget. They tap. Their energy leaks out in frantic, useless motion. Your movement must be slow, deliberate, unhurried. When you gesture, it is controlled. When you turn your head, it is smooth. This broadcasts a surplus of time and a deficit of fear. It demonstrates that you are not rattled. Your sequence in any moment of pressure is this: breathe, ground, then speak, breathe, ground, then speak. You do not speak from the panic. You intercept the panic. You take the one tool you always have, your body, and you use it to change your state. You breathe to control the chemistry. You ground your posture to command the structure. Then, and only then, do you allow words to form. They will be different words, clearer words. They will come from a place of command, not crisis. This leads to your most critical operational habit, the pre-game ritual. You do not walk into the arena cold. You warm up. You reset. You install the state before any high-stakes interaction, the big meeting, the difficult conversation, the important call. You take 60 seconds, 1 minute. You go to a bathroom stall, a stairwell, your car, and you execute the reset. Here is your 60-second drill. 1 second, 0 to 20, the breath reset. 20 seconds, stand still. Place one hand on your belly. Inhale deeply through your nose for a slow count of 4. Feel your belly push your hand out. Hold that breath for a count of 4. Now, exhale slowly and completely through your mouth for a count of 6. Pull in your belly button toward your spine. Do this 3 times. Your only focus is the count and the sensation of air. You are rebooting your central nervous system. 2 seconds, 21 to 40, the posture installation. 20 seconds. Adopt the command stance. Feet planted. Shoulders back and down. Chest open. Imagine a string pulling the crown of your head toward the ceiling. Now, clench every muscle in your body, fists, arms, legs, core. Face as hard as you can. Hold that full body tension for 5 seconds. Feel the strain. Then, in one great release, let it all go. Let your arms hang loose. Your jaw go slack. Feel the profound relaxation that follows extreme tension. You have just shown your body the contrast between stress and release, and chosen release. 3 seconds, 41 to 60, the declarative focus. 20 seconds. Keep your grounded posture. Your breathing should now be slow and steady. Look straight ahead at a point on the wall. In a low, firm, audible whisper, state your 3 declarations for the coming interaction. Not hopes, commandments. I am calm and clear. My value is non-negotiable. I own this room. Say them with the tone of established fact. You are not hoping to be calm. You are informing your body and mind that you are calm. 60 seconds. That's all. You have chemically lowered your stress hormones. You have neurologically signaled dominance through posture. You have focused your intent with declarative language. You did not wait to feel ready. You used your physiology to make yourself ready. Posture precedes opinion. In the moments when your mind is a storm of doubt, your body must be the unshakable lighthouse. You don't have to feel powerful to stand powerfully. You stand powerfully to become powerful. Breathe, ground, then speak. This is the new sequence of command. You have taken control of the instrument, your body. You have changed your state. Now, you must direct that energy outward with purpose. It's time to move from managing your internal state to executing on the external field, to stop preparing and start producing. Chapter 8. Influence is a gravity you generate. Think influence is about persuasion, about crafting the perfect argument, about pushing your idea onto someone else until they finally relent and see it your way. You're exhausting yourself. You're a salesman, door to door in a storm, begging to be let in. It's weak. It's needy. And it doesn't work. Real influence isn't push. It's pull. It's not about chasing people. It's about becoming the kind of person, the kind of presence that people naturally orient toward. It's about becoming so solid, so clear, so self-contained in your own reality that others are pulled into your orbit just to benefit from the stability, the clarity, the focus they find there. Forget salesmanship. Think astrophysics. Become a gravitational force. Become a gravitational force. The sun does not chase the planets. It does not plead with them to stay. It does not negotiate. It simply is massive, stable, burning with consistent purpose. And because of that, the planets align. They find their orbits. They are held by its gravity because proximity to that much stable energy is beneficial. It gives them light, heat, a predictable path. You are not the planet, anxiously orbiting others, seeking their warmth. You are the sun. Your job is not to chase. Your job is to generate Dahao. You stop making demands and requests that sound like pleas. You start making offers. This is the fundamental shift, the art of the offer. You stop trying to take from the interaction their approval, their agreement, their resources. You start framing what you bring as a contribution to a shared reality. An offer is a gift of clarity and action. Your new linguistic framework for any proposal, any ask, any collaboration is this. This is an offer. This is an offer. That phrase changes everything. It transforms a transaction into an invitation. It moves from I need you to give me something to here is something of value I am putting into the world. Let's see it in action. The week. Planning like approach. I was hoping maybe I could lead this project. I think I can do it. What do you think? The gravitational. Sun-like approach. I have an offer. I will lead this project and deliver the report by the 15th. This will give us the definitive data we need to secure the queue for budget. Do you feel the difference? The first is a question, seeking permission, laced with doubt. The second is a statement of fact and value. It's not can I. It's here is what will happen, and here is the benefit to us. You are not asking to take the wheel. You are announcing you are driving and mapping the destination for everyone in the car. This is an offer. My team will handle the client onboarding, freeing you to focus on the new partnership negotiations. This is an offer. I will take the first pass at the proposal, structuring the core argument. You can then layer in your expertise on the financials. This is an offer. We pause this feature debate for 48 hours. I will return with 2 concrete user data points that will decide the direction. You are not pushing. You are constructing a new, better reality and holding the door open. You become a gravitational force by being the source of solutions, not the echo of problems. But here is the critical, non-negotiable component that makes this power possible. Detachment from outcome. Your power, your unshakable influence, lies in the integrity and clarity of the offer itself, not in its acceptance. The moment your sense of worth is tied to them saying yes, you are back to being a needy planet. You have handed them the gravity generator. Your mindset must be, commit to the offer, release the outcome, commit to the offer, release the outcome. You commit 100% to crafting the cleanest, most valuable, most professional offer you can. You make it with clarity, with good faith, with a focus on mutual benefit. You deliver it with the calm certainty of a man stating a fact, and then you release it. You detach. Their yes is not your victory. Their no is not your defeat. It is simply data. If they accept, you execute flawlessly, proving the value of your gravity. If they decline, you nod, you understand, and you maintain your energy. You do not crumble. You do not explain. You do not renegotiate against yourself. You simply remain solid in your own space. This detachment is what makes you irresistibly influential. People are used to dealing with neediness, with desperation that masquerades as ambition. When they encounter a man who makes a powerful offer and is completely at peace, whether it is accepted or not, it is unnerving. It is magnetic. They think, this man must know something I don't. He must have other options. His reality must be plentiful. They start to want to be in your reality. Become a gravitational force. You do this by generating value, not extracting validation. Frame your actions as offers. This is an offer. And then, commit to the offer, release the outcome. Stop trying to convince. Start generating a field of clarity and action so potent that the right people, the right opportunities, naturally align with you. Stop chasing orbits. Generate your own gravity. You've learned to generate gravity, to pull opportunity toward you. But gravity alone is not enough. You must have a code, a set of immovable laws that govern your actions, so that when people enter your orbit, They know exactly what world they've stepped into. Chapter 9. Rejection is data. Not destined. You are terrified of the word no. You hear it. It's not a syllable anymore. It's a verdict, a final judgment. It echoes in the chamber of your deepest insecurities and confirms every whispered fear. You are not good enough. You are not wanted. You do not belong. This terror is why you hesitate, why you over-prepare, why you cling to safe, mediocre options. You have made rejection the end of the story. You have conflated a single data point with the entire graph of your worth. That ends now. Rejection is not a verdict. It is not destiny. It is information. A no is not about you. It is a reading, a measurement. It is pure, neutral data about fit, timing, or the other person's own limitations. Your job is not to collapse under the weight of the judgment you've assigned to it. Your job is to analyze it with the cold detachment of a scientist. Decode the data, discard the drama. Decode the data, discard the drama. The drama is the story you spin to shame, the narrative of inadequacy. The data is the objective fact. Your proposal was rejected. The drama says, I'm terrible at this. My ideas are worthless. They saw right through me. The data says, the format was to text heavy for this visual client. Or, the budget ask was 20% above the threshold. Or, the primary decision maker was out sick, and the substitute lacked authority. One is a soul-crushing tragedy. The other is a troubleshooting report. A potential client ghosts you. The drama says, I'm unlikable. I came on too strong. I'll never succeed. The data says, their priorities shifted internally. Or, my communication frequency was misaligned with their buy-in cycle. Or simply, not a fit. Your job is to surgically separate the two. Extract the fact. Incinerate the fairy tale of failure you're trying to write about yourself. Rejection is a reflection of circumstances, not a photograph of your soul. But in the moment, it stings. That's biological. That's okay. You don't suppress it. You process it. You have a protocol. This is not something you figure out in the fog of shame. You drill it until it's automatic, introducing the bounce-back protocol. A 3-step mental sequence to metabolize rejection in under 60 seconds. Without letting it poison your self-concept, the sequence is sting, scan, step 1, acknowledge the sting, 2 seconds. Don't pretend it doesn't hurt. That just buries the poison. Feel it, name it. In your mind, say, okay, that stings. Give the primitive emotional brain its 2 seconds of recognition. Then, you consciously end the ceremony. The feeling is not in charge. You are step 2, scan for data, 20 seconds. Now, switch gears. Ask the one question that forces objectivity. What's one piece of clean data I can extract? Not a story, data. Was it timing? A specific objection? A mismatch in values? A logistical hurdle? Find one actionable, factual clue. The price was the blocker. They needed a case study in my industry. I talked for 80% of the meeting. That's the data. That's the gold. The drama is waste material. The data is fuel. Step 3. Take a step immediately. This is the most critical part. You must break the state. You must prove to your nervous system that life continues, that you are still an active agent. Immediately after scanning, you take one small, physical action aligned with your goal. Not a massive leap. A step. Send a follow-up email to a different lead. Revise the price slide on your deck based on the data. Do 5 push-ups. Write down the lesson in your log. Make one call. You move your body and you move the mission forward. You replace the frozen feeling of rejection with the momentum of action. Sting, scan, step. This protocol builds resilience. But resilience is not enough. You need immunity. You need to prove to your nervous system, through lived experience, that no is not only survivable, but useful. This requires immunization through exposure. You must systematically seek out rejection. You must go get no's on purpose. Your nervous system is like a sheltered child afraid of dogs. The only cure is controlled, positive exposure. You need to pet a puppy, then a calm dog, then build up. You need to show your fear center that the thing it's terrified of is, in fact, harmless and often helpful. Your mission this week, the No 5 Challenge. Go get 5 intentional rejections, not failures. Strategic no's ask for something where a no is likely, safe, and informative. Ask for a 10% discount on a subscription service. Propose an unconventional idea in a low-stakes meeting. Ask a busy person for a 10-minute advice call. Submit a piece of work slightly earlier than the deadline. Inviting sharper feedback. Pitch a collaboration to someone slightly out of your current league. Your goal is not the yes. Your goal is the no. You are collecting data points. You are training your brain to hear no and think interesting. What did I learn? Instead of catastrophe, abort mission, with each intentional no, you drain the word of its emotional power. It becomes a tool, not a weapon used against you. You realize you are still standing. The world did not end. In fact, you now have more information than you did before. Rejection is data, not destiny. It is a signpost, not a stop sign. Decode the data, discard the drama. When the sting comes, run your protocol, sting, scan, step, and build your immunity by seeking out the very thing you feared. Go get your 5 no's. Prove to yourself that you are not fragile, that you are a scientist of your own life, collecting data, refining the experiment, moving ever closer to the truth that works. You have learned to withstand the no, to use it as fuel. Now, you must build something so undeniable that the world's no's become irrelevant. You must move from seeking permission to establishing your own sovereignty. Chapter 10, The Unshakable Core. Living as a factus is the end of becoming, and the beginning of being. Everything up to this point has been a training manual, a boot camp for a new kind of man. You have learned to scan your broadcast, to kill your apologies, to architect your thoughts, to wield silence, to build with words, to kill the need to be understood, to physiologize certainty, to generate gravity, to metabolize rejection. Now, you integrate it. You fuse it into a single, indivisible state of being. This is the thesis of your new life. You are not a proposition to be debated. You are not a plea to be validated. You are not a suggestion waiting for feedback. You are not an opinion. You are a fact. You are not an opinion. You are a fact. Your worth is a fact. Your right to occupy space is a fact. Your voice is a fact. Your plan is a fact. These are not up for internal committee review. They are not subject to external referendum. An opinion is weak. It shifts. It says, I think I can. It whispers, do you agree with me? A fact is immutable. It stands. It says, I will. It states, this is so. When you live as a fact, you remove yourself from the marketplace of approval. You are no longer a product with a fluctuating price based on the day's ratings. You are a landmark. People don't vote on whether a mountain is to exist. They navigate by it. They are challenged by it. They respect it. This is the culmination. It is the weaving of every discipline into a single, seamless mode of operation. Your thoughts are commanding. Your words are architectural. Your body is certain. Your silence is powerful. Your actions are offers. Your rejections are data. There is no more separation between what you think, what you say, and how you move. They are one coherent system. The system is now online. The system is now online. It is no longer a series of techniques you try on. It is the operating system you run on. You don't remember to own the pause. You simply do not rush. You don't try to frame the game. You naturally define reality as you enter it. The broadcast is no longer something you monitor. It is the consistent, powerful signal that emanates from this integrated core. In this state, you are unshakable because you are no longer holding onto anything fragile. You are not clinging to a specific outcome because you are committed to the integrity of your offer. You are not clinging to a specific self-image because you know you are a fact, not a feeling. You are not clinging to being understood because you are clear, not consensus-seeking. The storms of circumstance, the opinions of others, the temporary setbacks they blow around you. They do not blow through you. But a core, no matter how solid, requires maintenance. Integrity is not a one-time achievement. It is a daily practice. You must fortify it each morning and review it each night, ensuring you never revert to the old. Statiki broadcast. This is the daily code to non-negotiable 5-minute sessions, morning and evening. Your ritual to install the fact of you. The morning code 5 minutes. Install the fact 1. Posture and breath 90 seconds. Stand in your command stance. Feet planted, shoulders back. Take 3 deep, diaphragmatic breaths. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 6. You are not breathing to relax. You are breathing to claim. With each exhale, envision the old, needy signals leaving your body. You are grounding your physiology into fact. 2. Declarative foundation 90 seconds, keeping your grounded posture. Speak 3 foundational declarations aloud in a calm, factual tone. These are not wishes. They are statements of law for your day. Oh, my presence is a fact. Oh, my focus is unbreakable. Oh, my actions create value. You are architecting your reality with your words. First thing, 3. Intentional frame 60 seconds. State your primary frame for the day. 1 sentence. Today is a day of disciplined creation. Or, today, I engage with clarity, not emotion. Or, today, I am a gravitational force. You are framing the game before it begins. The evening code 5 minutes. Release the noise 1. Physiological reset 90 seconds. Set upright. Take 3 cleansing breaths. Sharp inhale through the nose. Long, slow sigh out the mouth. Release the physical residue of the day. 2. Data scan. Now drama review 90 seconds. Ask yourself, what is one piece of clean data I learned today? And where did I do my 70% well? Focus only on objective data and your own execution. Did you own a pause? Did you make a clear offer? Did you use a full stop? This is scanning your broadcast for signal strength, not judging the plot. 3. Release and clear 60 seconds. Consciously release any attachment to others' opinions, outcomes you couldn't control, or perceived slights. Say to yourself, I commit to my offer. I release the rest. Imagine those attachments as static on a radio dial. Turn the dial to clear. You are clearing the channels for tomorrow's clean broadcast. This is your maintenance. 10 minutes a day to ensure the system stays online, to ensure you live as a fact. You are not an opinion. You are a fact. The world does not get to vote on you anymore. You have moved from the jury box to the bench. You are the ruling authority in your own life. The system is now online. Your broadcast is clear. Your signal is strong. You are no longer asking for a seat at the table. You have built your own table. You are no longer hoping to be heard. You speak, and the silence itself leans in to listen. This is not confidence. It is certainty, not arrogance, but architecture. You have built an unshakable core. Now go and live from it. The world adapts to facts. Become one. End of audiobook. Let's be clear. This was never about getting other people to like you more. This was about you finally liking yourself enough to stop betraying your own potential. With every thought, every word, and every hesitant step, you now have the code. You understand the broadcast. You know how to think with command, speak with architecture, and move with certainty. The invisible work is done. Now comes the visible part. The world is a mirror. It will show you exactly what you believe you are worth. So what will it show starting tomorrow? Will it show someone who apologizes for space, or someone who owns it? Someone who seeks validation, or someone who is validation? The gap between who you've been and who you are capable of being is closed only by applied repetition. Here is your challenge, your one non-negotiable command. For the next 7 days, you will live by 1 chapter a day. Start with Chapter 2. Stop apologizing for your presence. For 24 hours, you eradicate the word sorry from your vocabulary. You sit fully in chairs. You speak without justifications. The next day, you move to Chapter 4. Silence is your sharpest tool. You do this day by day until the system is wired in, until your new broadcast is automatic, until you are no longer a participant in your old life. You are the author of your new one. The book is closed. The work begins. Go. Transmit power.